we're saying goodbye to one of the GOATs. You've definitely heard the news by now, but MatPat has announced his retirement from the game theorists. And here's him in his own words.
That's one of the OGs right there. Big MatPat. God damn.
We knew that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever.
And he talks about how the work-life balance has been less than ideal, and he's devoted the past 13 years of his life to game theory, and he wants to start doing new things. And he's going to still keep having game theory running with new hosts. And it's kind of cool because there will be 4 people replacing what he used to do by himself, which just shows how much of an institution he was.
From what I've seen, though, this typically never works. From the examples that I've seen, this idea that you're going to reach a certain point and just, be the face of your brand, reach a certain point and just offload it to different people that you trust. Typically, it never works. Biggest example that I can think of is Smosh. Yeah, Smosh is the. I don't think it really worked for them, dog. I don't think it ever really worked for Smosh. I think Linus Tech Tips was trying to do it a while back. I mean, they had some success with it, but Linus is still like the face of those videos. Yeah, there's a decent amount of examples out there that you could look at and say, yeah, this, because at some point, like, brand recognition and you being the face of your brand, like, it matters. You being the voice of your shit matters. And if you're just not that, you're just not that. There's another channel that I follow called Channel Makers, and it's like a YouTube advice channel. And this dude has been the face of all the videos. When you think of that channel, it's attached to this dude. And then all of a sudden, he wants to make this whole ass company, make this big ass brand, and have these videos done by this people, this person done by that video, done by that person. And it just doesn't hit, bruh. It just doesn't hit the same.
Now, quick aside, this is just a little conspiracy theory. This was his 666th YouTube upload. I feel like MatPat wouldn't be someone to not know that. I don't know, maybe, okay. But I do think it's real. And this isn't just him retiring. There's been a trend of YouTubers retiring over the past year, really. And even in the past couple of months, there's been some huge names. People like Stampy. In his Lovely World Minecraft series, it's came to a close.
And who knows what's going to happen next in our lives. So, for the final time, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.
And I think there's also a decent amount of creators that are like quiet quitting. I don't think PewDiePie has ever made I'm done with YouTube type of video, but I think he's like cooled down like crazy. And I remember when Prime PewDiePie was uploading, and bro was uploading like every single day. If I go on his channel right now, he still might be uploading, but let's look. His last upload was 3 days ago. Before that, 3 weeks ago, a month, 2 months. So he's uploading at like a twice a month rate. But again, for those, and I'm not even gonna act like I'm a big Pewdie head, if that's a thing. But yeah, in his prime, he was uploading like every fucking day. Definitely not anymore. Another person would be Jadeon, right? Recently, he announced that he was gonna quit YouTube, focus on Christianity and his faith, and he still ended up doing content, but it was for, he still ended up doing content, but it was like Christian-based content. He was doing live streams, Bible studies, and all of that. And more interestingly, he actually took it back, or not necessarily took it back, but he said he wants to go back to entertaining people, and he essentially said he's gonna do it the right way this time, which is good for him. I think being a content creator, bro, I'll say this. I think being a content creator is similar to being like an artist. I don't think you ever truly retire, especially when you get to a point where it just becomes a habit. It just becomes second nature for you to create content. I don't think creators ever truly retire, because you have that itch. It's like an artist, like a painter retiring. I don't think you'll ever really retire. Like, even if it's on a hobby scale, you never output anything, and you're not going at it from a business perspective trying to maximize profit, you're still probably gonna make art. And And I think with the same thing with content creation. I think a lot of these dudes, they're never really gonna quit. Even if they say they're gonna quit, it's gonna be on some I'm gonna just scale back, or I'm gonna take a couple months off and I'm gonna come back type shit. So, or even a couple weeks off, damn near.
And it's not just Stampy. We obviously saw Tom Scott last week saying he's ending main channel uploads.
This project has worked and it's time to move on.
Even Jerma. Jerma has announced his retirement. I don't know if people know, but it's a soft retirement. He still streams sometimes, but here he is.
This being a streamer is going to turn into a hobby for me. While I work on other stuff, other things in my life, obviously like off-brand.
Vincent Van
Some Doug
Souls.
thing that's I'm doing a lot of that right now.
And we have to ask ourselves, why? Why are all these people retiring from YouTube, one of the dream jobs that many people want to have? And I think the answer is twofold. And I think the first part is they're not actually retiring. Like in the traditional sense, they're not retiring and going to play golf like a 75-year-old every weekend and not do anything creatively. They're all still outputting. They're just not outputting the thing that people know them for the most. Like Tom, for example.
This probably isn't goodbye, like not forever. The podcaster host, Lateral, is still going out weekly. My newsletter's still going out. The Plus channel will probably return at some point. There'll likely be new technical difficulties episodes.
Does a lot of work. He's still doing a lot of things. Stampy
Yeah.
he has a gaming channel that he's still uploading on.
It's a gaming channel, but it's geared for kind of an older audience, I guess, than Stampy. Like, we still don't swear or anything on it. Like, don't get like that idea. Like, everything that I said earlier isn't thrown out.
Still no swearing. And also, even MatPat is still
Matthew
making
Pat.
stuff.
Like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really going to dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it. It
The
becomes
fuck is a lo-fi channel,
lo-fi.
chat?
But I think the
fuck?
reality is that when you start becoming a YouTuber, you have the dream of wanting to become a YouTuber, you just throw shit at the wall. Whatever it is, whatever creatively you are good at or you think is funny or fun or,
I'm saying.
or helpful to the world, you just keep doing it. And eventually,
I was thinking of the lo-fi
works out,
girl.
something sticks. I don't know what it is for every YouTuber, but, you know, MatPat had game theory. I for a while, had playing games at a subpar level. And we kept doing those things. MatPat to a much greater degree, but you get the idea. When something sticks, you do it. You repeat it. And you do it on a regular cadence so that people know to come to expect it and will show up to watch it. You build a base of viewers, yada, yada, yada. And you still
I think burnout is a real thing too. I've definitely experienced it. But like what Ludwig said, bro, like when you start off with this content shit, and I do think this is the right way to do it, just try to make content that you feel like you have fun making, right? But there is gonna come to a point where when you do blow up, that content becomes your thing. And when that content becomes your thing, not only from a brand perspective, but also from a money perspective, you have a different relationship with that said thing, right? So for me, that was the NBA. When I first started off YouTube, I was throwing everything at the wall. 2K videos, sports videos, hell, even music videos. Right, I was throwing everything at the wall. But the NBA shit is the one that stuck. It was fun for me. It still is fun for me. But at a certain point, when I became synonymous with NBA content, at a certain point, when it become this thing that pays the bills, you end up having a different relationship with that thing. And it doesn't just become a passion. It doesn't just become a hobby. It now becomes a means of paying bills, a means of life. You end up having a bad relationship with it for a lot of people, or a worse relationship than what you initially had with it. For me with NBA content, that was exactly that, right? That's why I stopped creating video essays. At some point, I just ended up viewing basketball in such an analytical, smart-ass, I'm better than you. Everything became confirmation bias. Everything became a point towards the next video that I genuinely could not even watch NBA basketball, like, for fun. I couldn't. I would say 2021 was probably the least I've ever watched NBA basketball. 2022, for the first half of the season, I barely watched basketball. And then things picked up second half of the season. Now the Celtics being ass during those years may have contributed too. I ain't gonna lie. But that burnout shit was real. And now I'm at a position where I'm still doing basketball content, but it's definitely a different pivot from what people are used to. And I'm not going back. I'm not. I love the ability to talk about the game in a way more casual way. And if anything, just embrace being wrong. Right? So many people, and even now, so many people are so afraid of just being wrong and having conversations. Everything got to be a debate. Everything has to be an argument. Like, bro, can we just hop on a podcast? Can we just hop on a call and just have a conversation about basketball? You know what I'm saying? And going back to this main video, because I didn't want to go on a tangent. Yeah, I think the same thing with these creators. They started off, now mind you, a lot of these creators that are retiring, they've been established for years. They started off throwing shit at the wall. They found something that stuck. They've been doing it for 6 to 7 years or whatever. And when you do that same thing for 6 to 7 years, you get tired of it. But at that point, either two things have happened. Number one, you have made a shit ton of money and have a lot of financial security. Or number two, you haven't made a shit ton of money and don't have a lot of financial security. So you have two options, in my opinion. Really three. Number one, you made a shit ton of money. You go this way. You either, what the fuck was that? Was that desk game? You either retire and scale back, or use the savings to essentially fund your lifestyle for a couple months, for up to a year, and pivot into a whole nother direction that you really want to go to for the next couple of years. Or you go in this road, you haven't made a lot of money, you're going paycheck to paycheck, and now you really need to quit YouTube because out of necessity, you need a stable job. So the top 50 list still giving you nightmares. It's not even the top 50 list. It's just like everything that comes with it. Every single video, people questioning my credibility. Every single video discrediting my credibility just because of my looks and my race, and my physical features and things of that nature. And people really take basketball seriously. Like, really, really seriously. I didn't think people took basketball as seriously as I thought they did when I got into the NBA community, but motherfuckers will die over this NBA debate shit, dog. Like, god damn.
Still got to innovate. You got to change throughout the times. You know, viewers will get old, stop
take
watching
it so
YouTube.
serious.
You need to appeal to new viewers. But that's the idea. You just keep running the same old simulation over and over. And I think at a certain point, YouTubers realize it's a bit draining, because what is it all for, right? More views, like more money, more fame. But what is that for? What's the point of getting more capital? What are you doing with the money? At a certain point, you're pretty set, right? I think Matt Pat has been pretty set for a while now. I feel like I've been set for a while now. I don't feel like I'm in the game of getting more money because I don't have a reason for it. I don't know what I would do with it. And then the fame part, that'll go away. And everybody knows it'll go away. And I think Matt Pat says it best himself right here.
When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and
I agree with him. I think YouTubers nowadays saw the previous generation of YouTubers
So you're gonna give a
do
grand for
the
your
other
goodbye?
way of quitting, where it is somewhat forced.
I might
upon
just
them
quiet quit.
because they kept doing the thing that made them successful, and then it started to fall off a bit. I'm sure you can think of some YouTubers who did this, a channel that maybe you used to watch, and then you looked up years later to see, oh, they're still doing the thing. It's just that people aren't watching them do the thing. And maybe in there is a couple of updates saying, hey, that they're burnt out or that YouTube isn't as fulfilling anymore. And that's not...
Hey, shout out to BG for the 4 months, man.
W 4 months.
Appreciate you. I also think there's a lifestyle component to this as well. I said it during on a TikTok I did recently that did relatively well. A lot of the dudes that are thinking about retirement have been doing this, and we are coming up on the first generation of YouTubers that can say that they've done YouTube and content creation for 10 or so years. And typically, especially during that early wave, old people weren't catching on to it. So the only people that really saw the vision were young people. I also think YouTube monetization wasn't really a thing until 2014, 2015, right? So a lot of the dudes that blew up originally in 2014, 2015, which are a lot of the names that Ludwig has mentioned, they're entering their 30s. They are entering their 30s, if not well within their 30s. These are dudes who are not in their 20s anymore. These are dudes who are not in college anymore. These are dudes with different level of responsibilities, and women as well. These are people with different level of responsibilities now in their life. And to put it bluntly, they have families now. They have families now. They have children. They have wives. They have husbands. And they just can't push all of that aside so consistently for the rest of their lives. At some point, they have to scale back to prioritize these other priorities that they have in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like even right now, I don't want to have this work schedule for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I'm streaming right now, chat, it's an unhealthy relationship. Time-wise between me and my girl and eventually my family, right? Because my girl gets off at 5. She's working from like 7 to 5. When I stream, when I do the podcast starts at 7:30, ends at 11. So throughout the whole week, we only really have 2 to 3 hours with each other. And sometimes I'm streaming up until the pod. Sometimes I'm streaming longer than what I'm supposed to be. So most times it's actually less than 2 to 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to live like that for the rest of my life. You know? So I think for a lot of these creators, it's just about reclaiming that time back, reclaiming that energy back so that, you know, they can focus on family. They can focus on family because work-life balance as a creator, especially at these high levels, is extremely, extremely toxic. I think the main thing I always tell people when it comes to content creation and why it is harder than what meets the eye is that it's not like a regular job where you clock in, clock out, and when you get home, your home period is relaxation. When you're at home, you can watch all the movies that you want. You cannot think about work until the next day and move on with the, you know, for the rest of the day. While the on-the-job work is easier for content creation, like what I'm doing right now is probably easier than what my girl is doing right now at the courthouse, right? I'm working 24/7 passively, right? Every, like, you know, conversation. I have a lot of conversations about content creation. I'm always thinking about the next video idea. I'm always thinking about what I should do on stream. I'm always thinking about what TikTok I should make. I'm always thinking about taxes. I'm always thinking about what my goals are. I'm always thinking about what if I fell off. Like all of these things I'm just consistently thinking about. And it's not a healthy mindset to be in, bro. It's just not. It's just not. Let alone the other aspects that it affects, especially if you're a live streamer. It affecting your social life. It affecting your health because you're in the house all day and you're not getting, you know, enough sunlight, enough exercising, which was already a problem for me before I started streaming, you know? So.
Not the nicest way to end a career. It's kind of a sad way. It's not the best page to turn to in Goosebumps.
I saw it on Twitter. I never
the obituary page of Sunny V2. That's not, nobody wants this. I'm just saying nobody wants this. And maybe it is a bit selfish to want to be remembered for your work when you are at your peak in creatively pushing the limits, as opposed to creating into maybe your decline. But I also think it makes sense. And quitting is one of the coolest things you can do. I mean, like truly quitting, deciding to quit on your own terms, Frank Sinatra, My Way type beat, is awesome after you've achieved success, because it's also hard. When is the right time to quit? I find it incredibly scary just thinking of the idea of it. And when I first started streaming, when I had no viewers, I said I would quit within 5 years. At that point, I didn't realize what would happen in 5 years. But I figured I'd want to move on to some other shit. And I still do want to move on to some other shit. I really want to open a bakery. I mean, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
I think for me personally, because I've had these same conversations with myself, I was thinking about retirement way too soon, dog. Way too soon, and that point in my life, way too soon. Sometimes I gotta look back and really think. As old as some of y'all think I am, like I'm 24. The idea of me being like a creator coach or working behind the scenes, I still think I got a lot of left in the tank. You know what I'm saying? You know, I still got 6 years until I'm 30. So the idea of me thinking about retirement when I haven't hit 30 yet is kind of crazy, you know? So for me, what it's going to take for me to really quit from this shit, number one, if I fall off so bad that I am really starting to struggle to pay bills and it is beneficial for me to get a regular 9-to-5 job, that's when I'm going to quit. That's when I'm going to quit. And even then, I don't think I'm a hard quit too. It's going to be on some, I'm going to scale back, you know, maybe still do the pod, maybe live stream on the weekends, record videos here and there, because I've developed a following where it could still be like just extra money, you know what I'm saying? Dinner money, you know, going out for dinner money, vacation money. I don't think I'll ever fully retire even in that case. Or, hey, if I just get to a point of fuck you money, you know what I'm saying? If I ever make enough money to the point where I can truly scale back and use all that money in real estate, use all that money to invest in this company that helps other creators, and I'm more so of a back-end dude, that's what I'm going to retire being on screen. But definitely got a lot more to go. Though.
I think it'd be really fun. I think it'd be fulfilling. I think it'd help my local community. And that, to me, is much more fulfilling than the endless pursuit of more money and more fame. For what? I'd rather have people around me have good bread. I think that's cooler. I think it's more important. But anyway, here's Matt Pat talking about quitting and the fear of it.
Because change is scary. Change is hard. But sometimes the right decision isn't the easy decision. The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF part 332. But that wouldn't be the right decision. I think the best way to explain it is...
He has a big video game analogy here. It's definitely worth watching because Matt Pat is a well-spoken man. But I think the reality is that he's right. You just do keep doing the thing that works. And there's not really an exact point where you are supposed to quit, right? You know, there's just a line that you arbitrarily draw in the sand. It happens even with famous movie directors. Quentin Tarantino, 10 movies. Why 10? Could be 11, could be 13, but he's marked himself at 10. And that's just his line. And so this is Matt Pat's line, and eventually we will hit everybody's line. My line is going to come at some point. I'm still here for a couple of years because, you know, hey, I still like what I do, and it's going well, and I want Off-Brand to succeed. So, hey, I'm not announcing anything, but I will. I will one day. Yeah. And it's not going to be in the too far distant future, and you might not even be watching me by then. This might be the last time we ever see each other. So I hope you have a good life, and I'm going to leave you with a quote from a fellow Ludwig Jacobowski, who had a quote that's usually attributed to Dr. Seuss that says very simply, don't cry because it's over, smile because you have been. It was translated from German because it sounds nice. But you get the idea. Thank you all for watching, and shout out to Matt Pat's amazing career, and I'll see you guys next time. See you later. Goodbye. We're going to keep doing the same thing forever now. Forever, for more views forever, and I'll always be here forever for more views. Yes, forever. Subscribe.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. The conversation about retirement as a content creator is interesting. Very, very interesting. Especially because a lot of these dudes, they probably didn't even have retirement accounts in their 20s. I don't know. Like, I'm literally just starting to learn about retirement accounts right now. Like, I'm starting to set those up right now. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. I'm curious, though, for the content creator who didn't blow up as big as Game Theory or as Matt Pat. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's where the true answers lie within this shit. Because even these conversations, these are the outliers in the game. You know?